and welcome. I'm Ashley of The Ugly Sheep, and today we're going to make a D&D themed gala outfit. So I've actually been working on this costume for a little while now. I first made the shorts, which I will link up there. And after I was done the shorts, it took me about 2 weeks to make the stays, which I'll link up there. But now it's time to take the different parts and make it a whole outfit that is also appropriate for more of a gala type event. And so today what I'd like to do is make the overskirt and armbands, and if we have time, make some of the belt that is also going to go with the costume. That way, the whole outfit will be both D&D campaign ready and gala ready. And that is my goal, to have both of those items and both of those themes into the same outfit. So the first thing I'm going to do is go get the satin that I had made from another outfit and see how much I have, to see how much I can devote to armbands and the skirt. Now, luckily, this skirt won't have to go all the way around me because I want to have the one side open so you can see my leg and the shorts and the knife that I'm going to have attached, and that is very loose there. It is a wooden instrument that is solely costume. But I want to have that part open and then have it really pleated to make a lot of volume and swoosh for the skirt. And then what I have left I can make into the armbands, along with some other like white trimmings and effects that I have just laying around the house. So let's gather all of our supplies and start measuring and cutting. So first things first, I did make the armbands. I even recorded it, but I ended up not using the armbands. It didn't jive with the rest of the outfit. So I know that I said I'd make armbands, but you're not going to see that in this video. Either way, I did need to cut the satin in order to cut the sloped edge off that I had used to make the shirt that I had made for another event. And so I still needed to square off this satin, which was kind of a little tricky because it just wanted to slide everywhere. But I was able to square it off, and here I am kind of starting to cut out the armband pieces, but this is probably the last you're going to see of them, seeing as I ended up not using them in the final outfit. I did also work on the belt with my friend, but because there was someone else involved, I did not record it. But you will get to see the belt that we made, along with all the add-ons for the reveal. So I'm very proud of that belt, but you will not be seeing leather working on this channel. That is just not my cup of tedious. Once I kind of straightened out the edges of this satin, I did just double rolled it and sewed it down the edges just to keep the fabric from fraying. Now, it wasn't perfect, so what I did was I kind of measured the top and the bottom to see which side was bigger, and I put the bigger end on the bottom for kind of the maximum swoosh and ground dragging fabric available. Once I did this, I then measured the pleats. I decided to do box pleats. And so I measured my fabric at a 1-inch intervals all the way across the fabric. And I started in the middle, and I would turn one side in 1 inch and then the other side in 1 inch to meet behind the pleat. It lets the fabric lay pretty close to me around the hips since it's going to be underneath the stays, and I did not want a lot of bulk. And that not wanting bulk or things that are going to create a lot of lines and pressing against me is also why I didn't just gather the skirt. So because of this, I chose box pleats. They were very easy to do, but they were a little finicky and time consuming to measure out. I didn't really show how to do the pleating, and I kind of wish I had turned the camera on to do that, but I had done that in a separate area that had a more comfortable chair and just in table and things like that that made it easier to measure and pin. It did take kind of a long time. I think this is a yard and a half of fabric that I had bought, so this is probably close to a yard or so of fabric that I pleated. So it was a lot of fabric to just measure out by the inch. And what I had done to decide how big I wanted my pleats was I wanted them big enough that it would still look smooth at the top without being bulky. And so that meant that each pleat facing was 2 inches. I also needed to take in the fabric almost by half because it fit around me and then some. And I wanted to leave a gap in the right side to allow for like the hanging of a weapon and to show the shorts that I made and kind of just show the boots that I'm going to wear and make the whole outfit visible. Securing the pleats was a little finicky. I had to make sure that they laid straight and flat along the top so that everything laid nicely while it was on my body. I also chose to do 2 lines of stitching along the top to secure the pleats because I was not doing a top hem. I'm leaving the selvages in place. One, because I probably will take this apart and use the fabric for something else because it's a lot of fabric. And 2, because I want it to be really long and dramatic and make a statement. The last step of this is to add a row of snaps, and so I have a snap tape that I just cut the appropriate length and sewed it in place. And now that it's finished, I'll see you in the reveal. Overall, I am super excited about how the whole outfit turned out. I'm going to make a playlist of all 3 videos that are relevant to this costume, so that if you wanted to watch them all together as one consecutive video to see how I made the entire outfit, that will be available to you. One thing I did learn through this whole thing, I'm not a fan of leatherworking. I probably won't do that again. But I did want to try it because I was thinking about potentially adding leather handles to bags, but that's just not in the cards for me. Let me know what you think below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.